Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. It is Thursday, July the 22nd. Ian Cameron with Conor Mac and our Thursday special guest along for the ride as well, Jose Bouquett, as we're ready to break down the Thursday MLB card. Great to have all of you with us in the chat. We are ready for this Thursday MLB slate. Let's get right to it. We got a game that's just about to begin in just a couple of mere minutes from now at Comerica Park. Texas Rangers, Detroit Tigers. Got Mike Foltynewicz on the mound. Tyler Alexander for the Detroit Tigers. Detroit minus 135, minus 140 home favorites, 9.5 the total in this one. I'm going to keep the analysis very, very brief, which is rare for me. One team stinks right now. The other kind of doesn't. Give me the team that kind of doesn't right now. That being the Detroit Tigers. I am on them on the money line here, minus 135. Now, you could argue there's been a little adjustment. You're not getting minus 110 or minus 120 like you've been with the Tigers the last couple of games, but still a price that I was willing to get involved with the Tigers. I like their team total over. Foltynewicz was disastrous in his last start. In fact, for the whole season, he's just not been very good by any stretch of the imagination. This is a simple ride the hot, fade the cold. I like Tigers money line, also on their team total over 4.5, minus 115 as well. Conor Mac, anything for you here? Rangers and Tigers. Best bet winner for you with the Tigers last night.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet this one, but it'd be the Tigers. You mentioned it. I think it's a little high, but I couldn't bet Mike Foltynewicz. No way. No way would I want him. 2-9, almost 6 ERA. It'd be the Tigers. And even to get maybe a better value, split it up, half your bet, maybe run line. That's crazy to say. Take the Tigers run line. But the Rangers, just can't hit a lick. So I want nothing to do with them. The team total's okay, but that's at 130 as well. Yeah, I would do kind of a split. Tigers money line and run line in this one. I'm with you. Ride the hot team. I don't give a shit. I'm sure some sharp or some, the Rangers, this is a game they might win. I want nothing to do with the Rangers. Until I see a little more, 0 with the Rangers.
Yeah, it's their lineup that's been a pathetic mess the last 6 games. Like 2 runs or less guaranteed from the Texas Rangers lately. And Matt Manning, who had 6+ ERA going into last night, shuts them down. So that tells you the state of this lineup right now. It's dormant. Yeah,
it's dormant. Real quick, but Tigers full bullpen day here. Their bullpen's been better, but I have reservations. Alexander's going to probably just go a couple innings. So we'll see. There could be runs, maybe.
All right, there could be runs as well. Jose, anything for you here? Texas, Detroit appeal to you?
I'm off of this game. Everyone's on the Tigers, so if that's the play, then that's the play. This is the Tigers. Shout out to Big Show.
There you go. Big Show indeed. Next up, Atlanta and Philadelphia. Charlie, Old Man Morton, Matt Moore. Pitching matchup here in this one. We've got the Braves minus 130, road favorites in this game. The total sitting at around 8.5. It's going to be interesting to see what's happened to the Phillies. I mean, you lose twice to the struggling New York Yankees. Can't get a client when you need one. All of a sudden, these 2 games that they lost, bullpen issues again for the Philadelphia Phillies. I love people saying that the Phillies bullpen is just such a great improved bullpen. I sure as hell don't see it. I mean, they're a little bit better, but that's not saying much because they were all-time terrible last year. But they still have issues, trying to close out games. And I think that's going to be the problem for them moving forward. And that's the thing with these 2 teams, the Phillies and the Mets battling for first in the NL East. It's which bullpen is going to actually get the job done because both of them have issues there. And it's really going to be which relief corps you're going to trust more. You've got Morton and the Braves who, look, they're starting to hit a little bit, even without Ronald Acuna Jr., just a devastating, obviously, impact injury out for the season. You lose a guy of that caliber, sometimes it's going to hurt you a little bit. But they have still managed to be able to hit the ball pretty decently without him. I think they should have some success here against Matt Moore. Don't have a particular amount of confidence in him. I know the Braves, or the Phillies rather, didn't really hit as much as I thought they would the first 2 games against the last 2 games against the Yankees. But I think against Charlie Morton, they can have some success here in this game. I'm looking over 8.5 if I were to get involved in this game. There are still 8.5s out there at most books, so make sure you shop around. A couple books have 9 with the total, but if you like the over, look for the 8.5 because there are some books that have it. That's the way I would play it here. Conor Mac, anything for you, Braves and Phillies?
Nah, I'm going to stay off here. both teams have kind of drove me nuts all year. We've talked about it daily on this show. Moore has kind of got me a little bit. Not that I bet against him much this year, but he seems, his last 5 starts, this guy just goes 5 innings or 4 1/3 his last couple and give up 2 runs. So it's tricky. When I see the 8.5, I would take the over too. I'd lean that way. I was on the Phillies team total. It got there yesterday, but I know they've gotten healthy here. Morton's pitched better, just back and forth, back and forth. I want 0 here. I looked at the Braves team total. I haven't been successful at that. It's -125, so I crossed that off. Maybe lean, full game, maybe over with these 2 pitchers, but I just don't love it. It's a pass for me.
All right, Jose, what do you like here, Atlanta and Philly?
This was my play of the day over on Jimmy's show. I'm on the Atlanta Braves team total over 4.5. Right now it is -113 at Pinnacle. I think on the show is -115. So a little bit of drop. I'm not really concerned about it. Matt Moore, like you said, Connor, impressively good. Like you would think that this guy would come over from Japan and stink, but he's been pretty good this year. He's given up less than 2 runs his last couple of starts, but he's faced these Braves now, about to be his 4th time. The first 2 were relief appearances where he went like not even a batter. He didn't even get an out, went 2 batters, and then went like 2 innings. And then his first start, I think, against them was like a 5 innings, 5-run run piece. So I think this Braves lineup gets a little bit of familiarity. They put in Jock Peterson at the top of the lineup to try to get a Kyle Schwarber effect in there. Hope that he gets a lot of fastballs that he can hit out. I think the Braves, they've got a little bit of juice going with them. Freddie Freeman and the boys have got a little juice, so I'm taking the team total over -113 right now on Pinnacle.
All right, we got the rivalry renewed at Fenway tonight. Yankees and Red Sox here. Jordan Montgomery and Tanner Houck, your pitching matchup here in this one between these 2 rivals. We got the Red Sox -135, home favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. Look, let's give the Yankees a little credit. I mean, it's been obviously a disappointing season. I know Jose may not do that, but I'm going to do that. They've won a few games in a row here. And look, they're ravaged by pitching injuries, starters and bullpen. Like, it really is amazing. They've actually gone on a nice little run here with everybody that's out. Look at the pitching injuries. Loaizaga in their bullpen is out on the IL. You've got Darren O'Day on the IL. You've got obviously Severino, Kluber, multiple starters on the IL. The lineup is, shorthanded. There's no Luke Voigt. There's no Gio Urshela. There's no Higashioka. There's no Aaron Judge. There's no Miguel Andujar. This is a very, very depleted team, and yet they've managed to come back and win 4 straight games coming into this one. They took 2 of the last 3 at Yankee Stadium against the Red Sox, and then swept the mini 2-game series against the Phillies. So give the Yankees credit. With all the absences, they are finding ways to win right now. Can it keep up here today against the Red Sox? That's the big question. The Red Sox come into this game with sweeping the 2 games in Buffalo against the Toronto Blue Jays. Look, Boston is I'm not going against Boston in this spot. Houck's been okay, I guess you could say, not great, but Montgomery's had issues on the road. The Yankees are 0-2 in Montgomery's 2 starts this season against the Red Sox. And look, Boston, I keep waiting for the regression to come and get this team and grab them and not let go, but it hasn't happened yet. And they're still actually, to be honest with you, considering the injuries, considering the pitching injuries for the Yankees, considering the lineup injuries right now and the position player injuries for the Yankees, all things considered, this is a reasonable price still for Boston. So I've lost a couple times fading the Yankees. I don't think I'm going to go back to the fading them tonight, but it would be a lean, at least for me, toward the Red Sox tonight. Connor, what do you think here, New York and Boston?
Yeah, give me the Red Sox. Maybe -1 here. With a lefty, they're just ripping him. I don't want Montgomery. He's not anything special. And the Red Sox just keep hitting lefties. We saw it last night with Robbie Ray. They just own him. I mean, they put all those righties in the lineup. Devers can hit lefties anyways. Yeah, so I look Red Sox. I don't love the run line as much with home teams. We talk about it. Red Sox team total is one I'll be looking at here. Bogarts, 9 for 19, I think with a couple jacks off Montgomery, jack of the day, and a few other Red Sox you probably put in today. Total bases, Martinez, all those guys ripping it right now. So no Yankees. Give me your Red Sox, Jose.
Yeah, Martinez, Devers, Bogats, it goes without saying. And Kike Hernandez was in that massive slump. And boy, he got out of it in the last series against the Blue Jays, which is good to see for Boston. So, yeah, I'm not betting the game, but I'm with Connor in the fact that if I were to get involved, I would only look at the Red Sox side. I just don't love doing that after the Yankees have hurt me the last couple of days. But maybe the Phillies are part of the Phillies maybe hurt me more than the Yankees did, trusting them on the road. I think that's probably the bigger reason for the losses the last 2 days. The Phillies doing what they're doing, not so much the Yankees. What do you think, Jose, for your Red Sox tonight?
Let me shock the world here, everyone. I'm an unbiased gambler, guys. I call it like I see it. And the thing that stuck out to me, the thing that stuck out to me today was the Yankees team total. Yankees team total over 4.5 even money right now. I think that would be my lean, honestly. I mean, I'll be honest. The Yankees have beaten the Red Sox once this year in a 9-inning game. The other game they beat the Red Sox in was very Mickey Mouse. It was raining the whole game. They fucked that up. So, of course, and it was in Yankee Stadium, of course. So we know how that goes. And then they beat the Phillies 2 games when we know. I mean, we're not crowning the Phillies, are we? I mean, I said they could compete for the NL East, but the NL East isn't a strong division. The Phillies aren't great, and guess what? Their bullpen couldn't hold a lead for them. Shocking development. I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this. I wouldn't say the Yankees are back. They're not a good team. They're not gonna be in the playoffs. I just can't see it, but I do think they'll get some runs today. Tanner Houck, I love Tanner Houck. He's the right-handed Chris Sale, but that would be my lean today. I do think the Red Sox will win, of course, but I would lean over, and the Yankees score some runs today too.
Yeah, the one issue is that he's not going to give you any length. Tanner Houck, he's a 4-inning guy. He's 5 if you're lucky. If you're very lucky, you'll get 5 out of him. And you'll see a lot of middle relief for the Red Sox. So, and that's always, that's a crapshoot. I always think that's a roll of the dice. Some days middle relief get the job done. Some days middle relief pitchers shit the bed. It's just depending on what.
Exactly. And they used their other length guy yesterday in Garrett Whitlock too. So Tanner Houck is a postseason starter or postseason like innings guy, piggyback guy. It's going to happen. Chris Sale's going to start. Throw like 3-4 innings when he comes back, and then they're going to put in Tanner Houck to throw another 3-4 innings behind him because they're essentially the same person, except Chris Sale's left-handed and Houck's right-handed. So very excited for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Yankees have disappointed; they've underachieved, but when it's Yankees Red Sox, still gets everybody's attention. There's no denying that. Tampa Bay and Cleveland. We've got Luis Patino on the mound for the Rays against Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. We've got the Rays here about -145 road favorites in Cleveland. The total 9 in this one across the board. I think we have a live home dog potentially here in the Cleveland Indians, to be honest. They're starting to play a little bit better. They had that awful slide, but they've now gone 6-3 in their last 9 games. 3 games against the Astros. They lost the first 2, but the first game was a close one, 4-3, and then they win 5-4 last night over the Astros. The Rays, again, not an easy team to bet against. We like them a lot, but I don't like Luis Patino right now. It's been a rough go for him. Over a 7 ERA his last 3 starts. He's given up. He got rocked by the Blue Jays last time he was on the mound in a starting role. 7 runs, 7 hits in 5.1 innings of work. So just a disastrous. And even prior to that, when he started in May, 4 runs allowed to Baltimore in just 3.1 innings. So, I'm not exactly trusting Patino to have a good outing here. Quantrill on the other side, he's sort of turned it around lately. He has pitched better in Cleveland. 3.86 ERA. He's coming off probably one of his better starts, 1 run in 5 innings against the Oakland Athletics in his last start, and he's now given up 3 runs or less in 4 of his last 5. I'm going to take a look here at the Cleveland side here. First 5 and full game split. I think this is a home underdog. It's got the potential to pick up the victory here. I just don't like what I'm seeing out of Patino right now. Conor Mac, are you involved here like anything? Rays and Indians?
No, I don't want the Rays laying this number with Patino. I just not on the road. I had that over 8.5, and I can't believe Meadows got a base hit. It was going down. Man, the Rays they could still hit the long ball, but man, there are too many averages, in the 220s. They do get key hits, and they've done it the last few years. I don't want them as road favorites. Yeah, I mean, I'd maybe look at the home dog here a little bit. I'm off the game. I don't like anything. The pitchers were just a little bit better form. Quantrill's been a bit better lately. Patino's young kid, 21 years old, has looked good, has looked bad. I kind of looked at the first 5 under 5. That was my initial lean, but it's just a lean. I'm gonna stay off this one.
Yeah, and by the way, 2 bullpens pitching well right now. Ray's bullpen's been terrific lately, and Cleveland's bullpen's been a lot better lately as well, which is kind of why I like the split first 5 in the full game, because I think maybe the bigger edge might be the first 5 with going against Patino here. What do you think here, Jose? Tampa, Cleveland.
I've got really no opinion on this game. This is a tough game. I was thinking leaning towards the under, but Kyle Quantrill is kind of a tough pitcher to trust, and I like Patino, but to what point? So I'm off this game. But I decided while we were doing the show, I was like, you know what? I like having action while doing these shows, especially with you guys. So I took the Tigers first 3 -0.5. So I got it at +110 just to dip around and have some action. And we had a 0-0 first half of the inning. So shout out to the Tigers, and shout out to Real Deal Prime, who is cracking me up right now. Really. Yes, cracking me up in the chat. I appreciate him. So he's either on one side of the spectrum or the other, and I'm glad he's on my side now.
There we go. We love it. I mute the show till Jose speaks. That's okay. We just want everybody, as many people watching as possible. It does not matter to me in the least if you give 2 shits about me, if you give 2 shits about Connor or Jose or anyone that's on the show. You're watching. That's what we like. And we care enough about our input that you're tuning in. That's what matters, for sure. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres and the Miami Marlins. We not going to go into too much detail here because we don't know who's going to be on the mound yet for the Marlins. We do know it's going to be Blake Snell for San Diego. He was a -145 favorite when they first set this number, 8 the total. In this game, we'll see who's going to be on the mound for the Marlins. I can tell you right now, Blake Snell. I get the worries about backing him or potentially betting on Blake Snell when he's on the road. We know it's been a rough go of it for him away from Petco this year, and that's an understatement. It's been a terrible run really for him in most of his road starts. But this is a Miami lineup that isn't necessarily, a domineering lineup, maybe something that Blake Snell can better control. His last start, he gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 innings, again on the road against Washington, struggled. So that's the problem. All season long, the Colorado game on the road, he gets roughed up. The Mets on the road, he only goes 4 innings, gives up 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks. I mean, it's just not quality from Blake Snell on the road for him. So right away, to be honest with you, I might be interested in the Marlins side. I might be interested in a Marlins team total over. But again, we'll see who's going to be on the mound for the Marlins. Just leans for now until we know who's going to be pitching for them as their starter tonight in this game. Connor, what do you think here, Padres and Marlins?
Yeah, I'll wait to the starter for the Marlins. Marlins just don't know who they want to pitch day to day right now going forward. It seems like every single day. Snell's been a fade, on the road. I think the game that I remember playing July 4th, he went 4 innings. He gave up no runs, 4 walks against the Phillies because I was on that one. But other than that, he has been just no good on the road. Maybe an over. The Marlins are just a tough team for me to hit. And they went on bad streaks, or they can't hit a lick, and they'll bust out in an inning. They're dealing with some injuries. I'm going to wait and see. Maybe Thompson's on the mound or one of their pitchers. I'll look at it, but just a pass for me here.
All right, Jose. Obviously, we don't know who's starting for the Marlins, but what do you think here?
Yeah, I don't know the obvious. We don't know the starter, but I'd lean towards the Marlins because of Snell being bad on the road. But the Marlins are just so weird, man. They're a team. They had all of these superstars in the making. They trade them away, Yelich and Stanton. Now they just need like a one big bat to kind of stir that drink a little bit. They tried to do it with Starling Marte, even though he's not that guy. He's going to leave. And they've got good young pitching, but that good young pitching is hurt with Sixto Sanchez, and Trevor Rogers can only do so much. So it's a weird Marlins team, tough to bet. I'd lean that way today, but I mean, like you said, we don't know who the starter is, can't really say. So just move on.
All right, and move on we will. Cubs and Cardinals now. We've got Adbert Alzolay for the Cubs, and we have Kwang Hyun Kim, the lefty, for the Cardinals. St. Louis minus 115, minus 120, home favorites in this game. The total sitting currently at, looks like, let's see, 8.5. Some eights out there. So again, if you like the under and the over, or the over, make sure you shop around. If you like the under, get an 8.5. If you like the over, get an 8. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to. There's multiple 8.5 and 8s out there, depending on which book you look at. I said at the All-Star break, and I said it yesterday. Actually, I only said it for the first time yesterday when I made my return on this show for the first time since the All-Star break. I'm not putting a penny on the Cubs, all right? Not anytime soon. They're selling. They're getting rid of a couple of their big players. They're trying to not totally tear it down, but they're definitely at the very least retooling this Cubs team. That's not a team I'm looking to back going in the trade deadline. And a Cubs team that we know on the road all season has been terrible, 19-32 on the road. And don't be fooled by the fact they won the first game against St. Louis. They freaking backed their way into winning that game off a pitiful meltdown in the 9th inning by the Cardinals bullpen in that game. That's why they lost that game. We got a homer for the Tigers. There we go. That's what we're talking about right here. Big one, 3-run blast.
I'm gonna cry.
Yep.
Where's Big Show? Well,
who hit it? Who hit it?
There we go. Haas.
Eric
Haas
has
been a great
Fucking go.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. Mike Fultonevich at it again. Love it. Love it. All right. Good start for the Tigers. 3-0. Getting back to this one. Yeah, for me, it's St. Louis or nothing in this game. And they won last night, and Kwang Hyun Kim on the mound for the Cardinals. You know, walks sometimes get him, but if he doesn't walk guys, he can be pretty damn effective. And he's got a 2.87 ERA overall, 2.77 ERA this season at Busch Stadium. And look at these last 4 starts now for Kwang Hyun Kim. 1-0-0-0. He is actually working on a 19-inning shutout streak over his last 3 starts coming into this one. Shut out the Giants. Shut out the Cubs. 6-0 July 10th when he faced them. Shut out the Giants again. July 17th, just a few days ago. 6 innings of shutout ball. He is in the zone right now. Yeah, for me, it's the Cardinals here. First 5 full game. I'll split it up because we did see the Cardinals bullpen absolutely gag a couple nights ago. So for that reason, I will split this one up between the first 5 and the full game on the St. Louis Cardinals. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Cardinals Cubs.
God, it's an ugly one. I kind of like it yesterday. I think I could see both those pitchers pitching well or getting hit. I could see similar here. I just don't like Alzolay on the road. I know Kim just pitched against the Cubs. What was that? July 10th in Chicago. 6 innings, no earned runs. The Cubs haven't hit lefties lately, though. They have some decent numbers off Kim. Most guys 2 for 5. Bryant 3 for 6. Baez 3 for 5. Just a difficult one. Yeah, I want nothing to do with the Cubs on the road. So I guess I lean a little bit to the Cards at home, but it's not one I'm going to be betting.
All right. Just a lean to St. Louis, but no bet. Alzolay has been more bad than good, or mediocre. He hasn't been terrible, but 4 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. I mean, it's not been great for him. He was better his last start against Arizona, 2 runs, but they're not winning the Cubs consistently with Alzolay on the mound. The Cubs are just 1-5 in Alzolay's last 6 starts. So I think that negative trend continues tonight. What do you think here, Jose? Cubs and Cardinals.
This is a very divisive game. I've seen people across Pub Sports Radio pick both of these teams. So I think I'm going to stay off, honestly. But I would like to take this opportunity to kind of call my shot here, gentlemen. You know, Ian, you said that the Cubs would be sellers. I've said for weeks that the Cubs needed to go into the tank and sell. They finally listened, thankfully. I think that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to go all in this year. I heard some scuttlebutt on a podcast that they were looking to go in and try to win this year. I put a future on them to win the National League after I heard that. Honestly, I think it was around like plus 460, plus 500 around there. I think they're going to get Chris Bryant. I think they're going to go in and get Chris Bryant and shore up some of that infield. They can put him in the outfield if they want. So I just be on the lookout for the Brewers to be active during the trade deadline, and get your future tickets on them because I mean Woodruff, Burns, Freddie Peralta, and they just shore up that lineup. It's pretty fierce.
Yeah, weren't so freaking fierce yesterday against the Kansas City Royals. That's the only thing I'm thinking about right now. Yesterday, well, like that's the thing with the Brewers. They have these head-scratching losses. They had this great run, and then they have those head-scratching losses. You know, like they had a couple of times against Kansas City at home this week, losing both games to the Kansas City Royals. So I don't know. Sometimes they look like, wow, this team is going to be a force in the NL playoffs. And then there's some games where it's like, what the hell? What am I watching here? Is this team capable of they could get a little like a team that doesn't even deserve to make the playoffs in a couple of games, Milwaukee. But that's why they're a funny team in that regard for sure. Angels and Twins next up. We've got Andrew Heaney, Kenta Maeda pitching matchup here. Twins minus 140. Home favorites, 9.5 the total, shaded to the under in this game. Angels kind of in a slump right now. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, trending in the wrong direction. Andrew Heaney on the mound for the Angels. He's been trending in the wrong direction all season, pretty much for the for the LA Angels. I mean, it's not been good for him whatsoever. The Angels are just 1-5. In his 1-4, I should say, in his last 5 starts. He's given out 3, 5, 7, 3, 4 in those last 5 starts. So he's not been overly effective here. The Twins, I give the Twins credit. Nice win for them last night against the White Sox. Shut down the White Sox. Very, very disappointing push for me on the best bet with the Twins and the White Sox over. Twins gave me all they could, and the White Sox, though, they double plays, multiple innings, killed their chances to get more than the 2 runs that they got. So that was very disappointing last night. Felt we should have had a winner there. And instead, we settle for the push with that over last night. But give the Twins credit. Nice 7-2 win. We'll see if they can keep it up here at home against the Angels. On the flip side, we got Maeda on the mound for the Minnesota Twins, who actually has pitched pretty good here in the month of July. Again, we're not yet at the point where Maeda's pitching like he did last year, not even close still, but he's definitely making strides forward and progress. You know, he had back-to-back shutouts against the Royals and the Tigers, then faced Detroit a second time, last time out, 3 runs, 5 hits. Not quite as sharp, but still 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts in those 3 starts. So the walks are coming down and the strikeout numbers are going up. So he's starting to get that swing and miss back, Kenta Maeda, in recent games. As far as this one goes, I would probably lean to the Twins. And unfortunately, kind of disappointing. You know, I did not get the value I was hoping for. I would probably look first 5, minus a half a run, if anything, here on the Minnesota Twins. Maybe Twins team total over as well. Those are probably the 2 I would look toward. A Minnesota first 5, minus a half a run, close to even money, and also the team total over here with the Twins. Just Heaney, just in dismal form right now. What do you think here, C-Mac, Angels and Twins?
Yeah, Maeda's been good the last 3 or 4 starts. Man, I still don't think the Twins are very good. And I think, they're sellers. They're not going anywhere. They'd have to make a huge run here in the next, 2 weeks to be anything. And every time I watch Heaney, I mean, geez Louise, just he gets hit, 4, 3, 7, 5, 3. That's an Andrew Heaney start. The wind's kind of blowing in or sideways. I looked at the full game over 9.5. You mentioned the team totals. I think both teams could hit here. Yeah, I lean over. That's all I have here. The Angels I thought are a little interesting. Maybe first 5. I don't want a full game with that bullpen. first 5, maybe plus 120. But I don't know if I'll pull the trigger, just a lean.
Yeah, I could see the over getting there. That would certainly be the lean for me from a totals perspective as well, would be the over. And the concern is, what do the Angels do? Their lineup's kind of cooled off, and Maeda's in good form. But is this a time maybe for Maeda to have that rough start? Who knows? But he has pitched good this last 3. Jose, what do you think here? Angels, Twins?
I think I'm gonna roll with my man Prime in the chat. You know, he's got the better pitcher. They've got the better bats. Got the Twinkies. Well, they don't. I guess they don't have the better bats. The Angels probably have better bats. But I was thinking towards the first 5 under. Honestly, first 5 under 5. I thought it was a pretty high number. Andrew Heaney has been bad, like you said, but he has his moments where he can dazzle a little bit. He has a start or 2 here and there where he can have a good start. And like you said, I mean, Kenta Maeda is a solid, good pitcher. You know, he is a AL Cy Young candidate year in, year out on the last 3 years. So I would lean towards the under. You know, I just first 5 under specifically. I think the full game could definitely still get there just because of how bad these bullpens have been. So I think that's probably where I would go. First 5 under 5.
Real quick, Nelson Cruz, 5 for 19, 3 home runs. Josh Donaldson, 3 for 7 with a homer. And your guy, Shohei Ohtani's 2 for 5 off Maeda with a bomb. Jack of the day candidates.
There you go. So there's a few there. There's Ohtani for the Angels, Donaldson and Cruz hit one last night for the Minnesota Twins. So definitely something to look at there. All right, we have our 2 late night West Coast games left to break down. Before we do that, 7th inning stretch time. It's one of our new segments, and that's shout out the chat time is what the 7th inning stretch portion of the show is. Not applicable. Anthony Imbrogno, Joey Harb, not Real Deal Prime, Puzzler, Sean V, Christian Larson, Gravy Betts, Vitalis, Brian Watson. We thank everybody for joining us here on the MLB Closing Time Show. Gerardo Coronado. Let's see who else we've got. Max on Record. Emmanuel Smith. Thank you to everyone for Maxwell Smart, who's doing a good job with this. I know we noticed he's posting props. He's doing a good job with those for the most part. So way to go, Max. Turnsey, as always. What else is new? Turnsey, a loyal foot soldier in the Pub Sports Radio Army, without a doubt. So great stuff. Cheshire Cat, Melvin Betances, Bill McDonald. We appreciate everybody joining us once again for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show today. All right, let's move to Oakland and Seattle. We've got Sean Manaea on the mound against Chris the Reflexen for the Seattle Mariners. We've got Oakland minus 140, road favorites, total 7.5, shaded to the over. That was Duran Duran reference, by the way, for those that didn't pay attention there. We've got Chris Flexen on the mound here for the for the Seattle Mariners. This is a huge stretch of baseball coming up for the Mariners. They are on the heels of the 2 wild card teams in the AL, Tampa Bay and Oakland. And if they're going to be in the race and convince their GM to be buyers, not sellers at the trade deadline, they've got to play good baseball and continue to, because they actually have played good baseball lately. They're 6-3 in their last 9 games. I think that's good for them right now, the way they're going. I like the way they're playing at the moment. Look, they've had a couple of injuries too, to position players as well, and they've managed to still put these wins together. They missed Kyle Lewis badly, the center fielder. That's why he was at the expansion draft last night for the Kraken as a guest introducing one of the picks, because he's injured right now. He can't play. So that's why he was part of the expansion draft presentation, which sucked, by the way, but that's another story. Seattle, though, the one thing that doesn't suck right now for them, Chris Flexen at home. Like, he's really pitched well in this ballpark pretty much all season long. On the flip side, you got Manaea, who's actually been pretty solid himself. There's nothing that you can say he's been that's been bad about the way he's pitched. He's been decent for the most part. Flexen, again, at home, though, 1.76 ERA in his 10 home starts this year. So he's been really, really good. Manea's turned it around. He's had a solid season overall, 3.28 ERA. But I kind of like the value here with Seattle. Home underdog. Flexen's been dominant at home. I like them here. First 5 in full game. I'm going to split it up with the Mariners here. Home dogs. They need the win. They're battling for the wild card. They're playing good ball. 6 of their last 9 they've won. Flexen's been dominant here at this ballpark in Seattle all season. Give me the Mariners here. I like the value as a home dog. I think they can get it done. What do you think here, Conor Mac? Oakland, Seattle.
I like the Mariners too. Flexen. He's been a bet on at home for me, and he's been winning them all. And even on the road lately, his last start in Anaheim against what was it, the Blue Jays. But I did look at June 2nd. His one bad start at home was against these A's. He gave up 5 runs, 7 hits. A little interesting, but I still got to back the Mariners here, and I am on the first 5, under 4. I like Manaea. I don't see a ton of runs. That was my look on this one. The first 5 under 4, minus 105.
And not just the wild card. I don't know if they're going to catch Oakland for first in the division, but if this is a huge series, if they hope to do that, like they could really close the gap with the A's, even for the division lead, or not the division lead. Houston's got it, but close them for again the wild card spot. And really get there where Oakland is right now. So this is an important series for Seattle. And again, they've got the guy they want on the mound. Flexen's been lights out at home, so we'll see if they can get it done. I do like the Mariners' first 5 full game. Jose, what do you like here? A's and Mariners.
This is a tough game, honestly. It's kind of weird, The Mariners always do this. It feels like the last 5-6 years, the Mariners have, they've been on the edge of competing. They're in that little purgatory zone, but they haven't made the playoffs.
You're right.
And if we all look at each other and let's be honest with ourselves, they're not better than the A's. They're not good enough to make the AL wild card. And I hate to say this as a baseball fan, but it seems like we've got our playoff spots already locked up. And it's going to be the A's most likely, with the Mariners just missing out. And like you said, this is such a big game, a series for them. But I just don't see it going their way. I understand Flexen's good. They pushed him back a day so that he can pitch at home. I'd look towards the under. I like my boy Turnsy's look of no runs first inning for the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. Shout out to Rusty, by the way, who I learned today is an actual person and is still in baseball. So I learned those 2 things the other day. So that was a good things to learn. So, but yeah, I lean towards the under here, and I do as well hope that the Mariners can at least keep the AL wild card race interesting.
Absolutely, no question. Seattle, this is a big series for them, and you're right. This also feels like it could be the kind of series which we've seen from Seattle in recent years, where they're close, they have a chance to close the gap, and they get swept. We've seen this from Seattle in these spots where they get, they're so close, and then they have a big series like this, and they don't play well.
And it's in the perfect time too.
Yeah,
it's in the perfect time, right before the trade deadline. So if they go into the tank, they lose this series, they get swept. Oh, look, 4-0 Tigers, by the way. If they go into the tank and they lose this series, and they're like, all right, well, we can't make the wild card now. They'll just start trading away pieces like Kyle Seager, expiring contract, free agent, big money. Would love to go and leave. Don't be surprised if he gets reunited with his brother and goes to the Dodgers. Don't even be surprised if that happens. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. This is, like I say, this is for Seattle. This is imperative this series. They've got the right guy on the mound. Flexen did get hit by Oakland in this ballpark. Was really, as Connor alluded to, is probably his worst start at home this year. But I think it's a bounce back for him. He's still in good form overall at home, and I think I like the way the Mariners are playing right now overall for the most part. So we'll see if they can get it done tonight against Oakland. Should be a good series, important one for sure. Speaking of important series, Giants and Dodgers, our final game on this Thursday slate. It has been an important series. Giants, DeSclafani on the mound for them, and Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. We've got the Dodgers minus 170, home favorites here, 7.5 the total. Wilmer Flores breaking the hearts and the wallets of Dodgers fans and backers last night with a 2-run go-ahead home run in the 9th inning. I was watching the Giants feed there, John Miller with "Adios, pelota," when that one went out of the ballpark for the Giants last night. And very, very tough one to lose for the Dodgers. They led, and no love for Kenley Jansen handing the ball to Dave Roberts last night after blowing the save last night. Those were some vicious boos, man. Those weren't just a couple of boos. That was the whole damn stadium. getting involved.
Yeah.
Booing Kenley Jansen off the field last night. And I know there's some people that say it was a bit. Dave Roberts went off, by the way. He said he was disgusted. The guy's not pitching well right now. He's not Kenley Jansen, 2 years ago, and it's happening too often with this guy. What are we supposed to do? Be prisoners of the moment? Be prisoners of a great year 2-3 years ago, and not think of the fact that in the last 2 years, this guy's been a heart attack waiting to happen, closing out games in the ninth inning? Like, that's the way the fans are. It's not what have you done for me lately? That's the way fans think. And every manager, every coach, every GM should know this. They don't give two shits what you did 2-3 years ago. If you suck right now, we're going to let our expressions and our frustrations heard. It's simple as that at this point. And that's what we heard from the Dodger faithful last night. They're frustrated with Kenley Jansen. He's just not been good enough, not been consistent enough. And it's not just this season, Dave. It was last year too. So, he's definitely feeling it right now. And look, I don't have a problem with the boos. The fans pay the money. They pay for the tickets. They've been cooped up in their homes because of COVID, like everybody else, for the last year and a half. They want to boo someone that's struggling. I'm cool with that. And when you deserve it and you're that bad, like Jansen had nothing last night. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Sometimes you got to let your frustrations known. Dave Roberts needs to worry about fixing this bullpen and fixing Jansen somehow, rather than worrying about the fan reaction. That's the way I see it. But nevertheless, this is obviously a big one here. Dodgers trying to get right next to the Giants in the division race. They're neck and neck. That was a tough one to let slide last night, but they've got one of the guys they want on the mound, obviously, and Buehler, 2.37 ERA, 10-1 record this season. Unfortunately, he's going to be his adversary's pretty damn good too. Anthony DeSclafani, and an outstanding 2.78 ERA for him going into this start. He did get that one start this year where the Dodgers in this ballpark absolutely smashed him. We remember that earlier this year, but still, other than that, he's been remarkably consistent. I don't know. This feels like a bounce back for the Dodgers, but I'm not laying $170. No way. I would lean Giants, but I don't. That one really just where he got absolutely crushed, DeSclafani, still stands out to me enough that I'm off this game entirely. I'm not on the Giants. I'm not laying this price with the Dodgers either. Maybe a first 5 under. I could see that. I think that's probably the best way to go in this game. Other than that, just a lean first 5 under. What do you think, Connor? Giants, Dodgers?
Yeah, that was my initial look, was the first 5 under 4 here. But yeah, those back-to-back starts in San Francisco where he gave up 10. And then he went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks. The walks are the problem. He walks DeSclafani, and the Dodgers are a patient team. So yeah, I lean that first 5 under. And we see with both these teams, actually, even with Rogers, has given up a ton of runs to the Dodgers, even though he's been good against the rest of the league. Jansen, yeah, you see it too much. Yeah, the boos. I mean, Dodger fans have seen that. That's why he didn't pitch in the World Series. He wasn't closing out games. He just can't get it done, especially at his age right now. The one that stuck out to me, because even if you don't get runs, maybe by the Dodgers, you could get it late, is their team total. The 4.5 plus 110, you could maybe get a 3.5, probably around minus 140. That's what stood out to me against how good they hit DeSclafani. Max Muncy, guy just keeps raking, 3 for 11, 2 homers. Will Smith, 2 for 5 with a homer. Mookie Betts. These Dodgers hit him. So the team total is what I was looking at. Over 4.5 plus 110 for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you eliminate the Dodger starts this season from Anthony DeSclafani's resume, I mean, his ERA would be like around 1.2 instead of 2.78. But again, the Dodger starts have been problematic. Even the last start, 3 runs, 5 hits, 5 innings, and then we remember he got the 10 runs. They got the 10 runs against him in 2.2 innings back in May. So, and by the way, the Giants lost both of those games. So that's why it feels like it's a Dodger spot a little bit. What do you think here, Jose? Giants, Dodgers.
I think I'll push back a little bit on the DeSclafani, not slander, I guess, but he had one start that just like you can't recover your ERA from it. 2.2 innings pitched with 10 earned runs is just you could throw shutouts for the rest of the year and still have a 5 ERA. I mean, I'm not a math guy, so that might not be true, but I just, it's hard to recover from that. And even then, he pitched the next game and threw two earned runs and then 3 earned runs, which again, not bad, not bad for Disco Fani. I think I'm rolling with I was not anticipating saying this, but I'm gonna roll with the Giants' first 5. Our boy Vitalis, I think, pointed it out in the chat. Disco Fani's first 5 record. He's been sitting at like 70%. Here it is, 12-5-2. Disco Fani for first 5 this year. So I think I'll roll with the Giants. They're the dog. You'll never see the Dodgers. There we go. That's the team I was looking for. The Dodgers have very low odds, but I think that if you take your Giants, let's see here, Giants plus a half is at minus 102 right now. You can even fuck around, take a minus a half for minus or plus 190. So I think you get the values on the Giants. They beat them 2 out of 3 so far. I understand Walker Buehler is very good and all that. He brings a kind of swagger to them, but I think that the Giants could scratch across a run or two, and you can be happy with a first 5 victory, especially if you can take that plus 200 spot, basically.
There we go.
Giants' best first 5 team in baseball, real quick. So there's nothing wrong with that bet.
There isn't. To me, there's not. I wouldn't talk anyone out of Giants' first 5 innings. It should be close. I think it'll be pretty low scoring too. So maybe they can eke out, 2-1 type of score after the first 5. We'll see. But unfortunately, I'm staying off it because I don't like DeSclafani's track record against the Dodgers this season, not one little bit. So we'll see how it goes. But a great, important game to wrap up this series. Great stuff, Connor and Jose. That is the Thursday MLB card. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We will get to our best bets, and we will get to Jack of the Day as well momentarily. But first, time for the sponsors, Manscaped and Southtown 101. Right, Southtown 101 in San Antonio. When you are there, make sure you stop in. Have great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase using that promo code, featuring the new and improved Lawnmower 4.0 and any other Manscaped product. You can get 20% off the purchase with that promo code PubSports and mybookie.ag. Promo code PubSports. Look, football season, we are 2 weeks from today, guys. 2 weeks from today. We've got CFL regular season opener. We have the NFL Hall of Fame game in the preseason, Cowboys and Steelers. It's 2 weeks away. Football is it's knocking on the door, and we're ready to let it in. So get involved with mybookie.ag. Sign up for an account. Promo code PubSports, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. So check out mybookie.ag. Use the promo code PubSports. All right, let's get to it, guys. It's time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
There we go. All right, Jack of the Day. I'm already looking at that Braves-Phillies game. Harper and Segura against Morton. They've both hit him for home runs. I think that's a good look tonight against Charlie Morton. Bryce Harper, Gene Segura. I think you could go with as well Freddie Freeman as well, maybe Ozzie Albies as well against Matt Moore. Jock Peterson has hit a home run against Matt Moore as well. So there's a couple of directions you can go in that Braves-Phillies game in terms of Jack of the Day candidates and home run props. In terms of a couple of the other games here, let's see. In the Oakland-Seattle game, you could look toward Kyle Seager. He's got a home run against Sean Manaea in the past. The Dodgers-Giants game, you could look toward Max Muncy, who has 2 home runs against DeSclafani. That would be something that stands out to me as well. So that's what I'm looking at for home run props here tonight. Conor Mac, what do you like for Jack of the Day?
Yeah, I had Bryce Harper. I think Bogarts or Devers are good looks. We talked about Cruz, Donaldson, and the Dodgers we mentioned. Max Muncy, Will Smith, Betts. And yeah, like the guy mentioned, make sure they're in the lineup. They're dealing with injuries, Turner and Betts. But yeah, those are my Jacks today. Oh, Tawny. I forgot that was my other one. Shohei, there we go. Yeah, Vitalis saying commissioner said no games will be rescheduled for I assume that's NFL you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be if a team does not have enough players a certain week, they'll forfeit. They're not going to look to make up and reschedule games and do this shit they did last year where all of a sudden you're playing a Wednesday afternoon game at 3:30 between the Ravens and the Steelers last year. We remember that during the NFL season. No, they're going to try to keep things very uniform, very, very strict with the scheduling in the NFL this season. No question about that. Jose, if you don't have any Jack of the Day, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But if you don't, what's your best bet?
I was just going to mention Shohei if Connor didn't. So Shohei and the Red Sox for me, Rafael Devers, Bryce Harper. I like those as well. So I'll roll right into best bet. I don't do this often. And by the way, Ian, the chat wants it. The chat gets it. Molly the dog joining me as well. I went to her bread and still taking her to mine. So shout out to her. It's an away game for me right now. But I think I'm going to roll with my say hey play of the day today. Not a big card. Not a lot stood out to me. I like the Giants first 5, but I don't love it. Walker's tough. But I think I'll take the Braves team total over 4.5. I just Matt Moore's been good, but it's not going to last. I think the Braves are good enough. I could see Jock Peterson having a leadoff home run today, get the Kyle Schwarber effect going, and the Braves go early and often.
All right, there you go. Braves team total over the 4.5 for Jose Bouquett for his best bet. Conor Mac, who had a best bet winner with the Tigers yesterday, what's he got for an encore tonight?
This is kind of like a combo one. I like the Mariners as home dogs, but see if you can get a 4.5. But I'm going to bet it with a 4. Give me the first 5 under 4 here. Manaea, Flexen. I like it even at 4 minus 105. First 5 under 4.
All right, first 5 under 4. Oakland, Seattle, best bet for Conor Mac. My best bet's the same game, actually, but it's going to be the side. We're going with Seattle here, and I'm going to go full game on this one. I was debating first 5 or full game, but I'll go full game because Seattle's bullpen's been better lately. I find they pitched a little bit better. They can close it out if they have a lead, hopefully. Let's go with it. Plus 130. Widely available with the Seattle Mariners here as home underdogs. I like the price. They have a 29-20 home record. They have a guy that has a sub-2 ERA at home this season on the mound for them and Chris Flexen. I think they get the job done, and this is the team they got to catch. This is the team they got to try to track down. I think you get the Mariners with a good game tonight and the victory. Seattle plus 130. That'll be my best bet for this Thursday card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. We thank Molly for the cameo appearance as well at the end of the show.
Yeah, you should. I love how everyone, by the way, Ian, I quickly interrupt. I love how everyone, by the way, has decided it's Molly with an I now. Molly with an I instead of a Y.
Isn't it Y?
So,
yeah.
It's definitely a Y. I mean, I don't know who spells it I-E. I'll fight someone for I-E right there. That's crazy talk. But yes, it's Molly with a Y. But I've got her by my side, so I'm not going to fail. We're not going to fail, guys. And by another thing real quick. I hit my picks here. I actually, if I tracked my picks on this show, I'd probably have a higher percentage than I do on Jimmy the Bag Show. I struggle there. Here's where I come and give out my winners, guys. You guys, everyone in the chat knows that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, don't.
And you
we
stuck
won't
with the
let Jimmy
same
know
bet
you're saving
today?
your best stuff for this
Yeah,
one.
hey, I did it once. I've done it once before.
Okay,
Connor.
okay. As long as
I've
if
got
it
double
worked, all
winners.
right. All right. No, I know you have. I just meant I thought since on that show you did a different.
No,
bet
I
on
got
this
you.
one.
I got you. I got you. But
Okay.
it's gonna happen, Connor. I can feel it. Today's gonna be a good
I
day
feel
for
it.
all of us. How about a sweep? How about it?
Let's
Sweep it.
hope for a sweep. Absolutely, we can drink to that, if you will. Hopefully that is indeed the case. We can sweep the board, go 3-0 tonight. Would be nice to see that. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Just before we sign off, a reminder: the way the show is going to be scheduled, we're going to have our 1:00 p.m. Eastern show tomorrow on Friday, and that'll be the last show we do at that time. Saturdays and Sundays will remain 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific with Connor, myself, and David Sharpie will join us on the weekends. And then Monday we'll do noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific with Connor, myself, and Ski. That Monday show will remain the same time. But then next week, starting on Tuesday, we're going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays with the MLB Closing Time show. That way there's a gap between Jimmy's show and our show. And we'll get, people that maybe miss some of Jimmy's show early in the day, but they're home at 4 p.m. Eastern after work, after whatever. They can watch the show live and join us for the later
Different
in the
lines
afternoon.
too. Yeah, a little different, later in the day. Yeah, a little different look. So yeah, it should be good. A little drive time show here.
Yeah, exactly. The drive home show, the midday show with Jimmy, the drive home show with Connor and I on the MLB Closing Time show, Tuesday to Friday. That'll be 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. So join us for then. But before that, join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be back again with the Friday edition of the MLB Closing Time show right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Conor Mac and Jose Bouquett, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow for the MLB Closing Time show right here on Pub Sports Radio.